JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, Jamaica to discontinue visa-free transit for Cubans. Jamaica is to remove visa-free transit for Cubans. Currently, nationals are allowed to transit through Jamaica for up to 3 days. In a notice to the public today, the Ministry of National Security stated that the allowance will be discontinued effective March 13. All other visa requirements for Cubans entering Jamaica remain the same. The ministry did not explain the reason for the move. Last November, the Gleaner reported that the government was seeking to curb an influx of Cubans who appear to be using Jamaica as a transit point to Central America in an attempt to illegally gain entry into the United States. At that time, Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Strang said that he was aware of the Cuban matter. There is concern that a number of them are using that facility to transit to Nicaragua and then on to the United States through the southern border, Chang disclosed. We are aware of the challenge and we're looking at how that problem can be corrected, he added. Immigration officers employed at the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency PICA, who spoke on condition of anonymity, said then that hundreds of Cubans have been traveling to Jamaica for the past 3 years to secure passage to Central and North America. Man caught in crossfire during $2 million armed robbery at Westmoreland supermarket. A man is nursing a gunshot wound in hospital after being struck in a shootout between police and armed robbers at a Chinese-owned supermarket in Darlington, Westmoreland, on Tuesday afternoon. The incident took place at the Flying Dragon Shopping Centre and Maple Supermarket shortly after 2 p.m. Reports from the police are that 3 men, one identified only as Buddy, entered the supermarket where they brandished guns and ordered the occupants not to move. The gunmen then proceeded to rob a total of $2,270,000 from the owner of the establishment, a Chinese businesswoman. The Darlington police were alerted and 3 officers responded to the report on foot. The report added that, upon their arrival at the scene, the cops were fired at by the robbers. 2 of the officers then took evasive action in fear of their lives and returned gunfire in the direction of the gunmen. It is understood that a licensed firearm holder also traded bullets with the gunmen before they fled the scene in a motor car. After the shooting subsided, a civilian turned up to the police station, suffering from a gunshot injury to his right arm. The man, who is suspected to have been caught in the crossfire, was assisted to the Savlamar Public General Hospital, where he was treated and admitted in a stable condition. No police officer was injured during the incident. The police suspect, however, that one of the gunmen was shot after blood was seen on a nearby vehicle. Investigations are ongoing. 2 men killed in St. James. 2 men were shot dead, and a policeman narrowly escaped injury during an attack by gunmen at Gut Bottom in Granville, St. James on Tuesday afternoon. The deceased have been identified as Rexford Jarrett, 24, and 29-year-old Oreen Reed, otherwise called Hagar, a construction worker. Both men are from Tucker, St. James. It was reported that around 2:30 p.m., Reed and Jarrett boarded a silver Toyota Axle motor car. Reed was the driver and Jarrett was in the front passenger seat. Police said when they were about to drive away, their vehicle was blocked by a white Toyota Voxy. 2 men armed with guns alighted from the Voxy and opened fire at Reed and Jarrett. Jarrett ran from the car. The policeman, who was off duty, witnessed what was happening and called out to the gunmen who opened fire at him. The cop, a constable, returned the gunfire in the direction of the gunmen, who boarded the Voxy and sped away in the direction of Pit 4. When the shooting subsided, Reed was seen slumped over the passenger side of the Axio. He was clad in a white merino and blue and red shorts with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to his upper body. Jarrett was seen about 300 meters away, lying face on in a yard, clad in a black shirt and army-colored shorts with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to his back. Both men were pronounced dead at the Cornwall Regional Hospital. Police, while processing the scene, found 20 9mm spent shells. The matter has been reported to the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM. Man killed, cop injured in gun attack in Kingston. A man was killed and a policeman shot and injured on Daffodil Avenue in Union Gardens, Kingston 13 on Tuesday night. The dead man has been identified as 30-year-old Dwight McFarlane, otherwise called Greybeard, of a Spanish Town Road, Kingston address. The injured policeman is a sergeant who works at the Hunts Bay Police Station. It was reported that around 7 p.m., McFarlane and the police were at a car wash when a black car drove up and men alighted. Police said the men pulled guns and opened fire, hitting McFarlane in the abdomen and other parts of his body. The policeman was shot in his leg and abdomen. The gunman then escaped from the area. Both injured men were taken to hospital, where McFarlane was pronounced dead, and the sub-officer underwent treatment and was admitted. His condition is considered serious but stable. The police have not yet established a motive for the attack. Curfews imposed in Manchester following reprisal killings. The Manchester police have announced curfews for 5 communities in the parish in an effort to prevent more reprisal killings. The curfews, which came into effect at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, will remain in place until 8 a.m. Thursday in the communities of New Hall, Richmond, Georges Valley, Mayday and Old England. Deputy Superintendent of Police in charge of operations, Colin Johnson, said that the curfews come amid security concerns following a murder in the Old England community last Monday and a reprisal killing 2 days later. A farmer of Mayday District, 37-year-old Aldo Scott, otherwise called Shortman and Chukum, was killed in Old England on February 13. The police had listed Scott as a person of interest, stating that they believed he had information to help them with the investigation of last December's murder of a businessman in Porus in the parish. The police believe a gun attack on 2 individuals along the Kendall Main Road on February 15 was a reprisal for Scott's killing. Damian Johnson, 29, otherwise known as Bleachers, of a Migetown address in the parish, and Chamoya Borough, 22, of a Comapen St. Elizabeth address, were shot and killed approximately 12:15 a.m. on their way from a party. The police say they will now be keenly monitoring the communities in which curfews have been imposed, given the imminent threats from gang members. Johnson said only persons with proper identification and proof of their need to be on the road during curfew hours will be allowed to do so by the ground commander. Elderly farmer shot and killed at his home. The Clarendon police are investigating the murder of an elderly farmer whose body was discovered at his home in Bellowsgate this morning. He has been identified as 73-year-old Winston Nelson. The discovery was made about 8 a.m. The police said Nelson's body was found with gunshot wounds to the chest and right hand. They indicated that residents reported hearing gunshots around 11 o'clock last night. A well-placed source disclosed that Nelson had been threatened following a long-standing dispute over the alleged destruction of his farm by animals. The source said Nelson had recently captured and slaughtered a goat, which he alleged was among a herd that had been causing continuous destruction to his crops. The probe into Nelson's murder is ongoing. Up to February 20, Clarendon had recorded 16 murders, which is a jump when compared to the 6 homicides in the corresponding period. Man charged of a fatal stabbing and robbery of passengers in taxi. The police have charged a man in connection with a fatal robbery of passengers in a taxi on Port Royal Street in Kingston earlier this month. 28-year-old Tyrone Millwood, otherwise called Russian, has been charged with murder, 2 counts of robbery with aggravation and kidnapping. The incident happened the night of Saturday, February 11. The police report that about 10 p.m., Millwood and his 2 accomplices were posing as passengers in a taxi. The taxi picked up 3 passengers, and the men proceeded to rob them. According to the police, a struggle ensued, and one of the passengers was stabbed multiple times. He was taken to hospital where he later succumbed to his injuries. Millwood and his accomplices then abandoned the vehicle. The police were alerted, and upon their arrival, Millwood was seen sitting close to the vehicle. He was arrested. He was subsequently charged on Monday, February 20, after a question and answer session was conducted in the presence of his attorney. His court date has not been finalized. Hairdresser among 3 arrested for scamming. A 19-year-old hairdresser was among 3 people arrested and charged in Hanover on Tuesday for lottery scamming offences into operations carried out by investigators assigned to the Lottery Scam Task Force, which is based in Montego Bay, St. James. According to police reports, the 3 people, who are all from addresses in Orange Bay, Hanover, were charged with possession of identity information and possession of access devices. In the first of the 2 operations, which was carried out at approximately 4:30 a.m., a 2-bedroom dwelling house, which was occupied by a man and a woman, was searched. During the search, 2 cell phones belonging to the man were found to be populated with names, addresses, telephone numbers, and the bank information of persons residing overseas. The man and the woman, identified as 27-year-old Dino Vasciano and 19-year-old hairdresser Amoya Smith of Church Lane in Orange Bay. The court date for their first appearance in court has not been finalized. Later, about 9 a.m., 27-year-old Calwyn White, an auto repairman of Wharf Road in Orange Bay, was arrested and charged following an operation at his home. During a search of his house, 2 cell phones with photographs of lead sheets were found. Further search revealed Microsoft Excel files populated with names, addresses, telephone numbers, and the bank information of persons residing overseas. Lottery scamming remains a serious problem in this parish, despite the success we have had arresting scammers, said Superintendent Sharon Beeput, the commanding officer for the Hanover Police Division. Last year, we arrested 23 persons for scamming, and so far, 6 have been convicted. In addition, we dismantled 3 major scamming syndicates in the parish. Despite initiatives such as the establishment of the Jamaican Operations Linked to Telemarketing Task Force and the extradition of several scammers to face justice in the United States, scamming continues to flourish as the scammers find new ways to beat the system. The task force, which was formally launched in 2009, is made up of the Immigration Customs Enforcement Division of the United States Homeland Security Department, the United States Embassy in Jamaica, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and individuals from a number of state agencies, including Customs, the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, and the Financial Investigations Division of the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. Wanted man cut down. Deputy Superintendent O'Neill Thompson, who is in charge of operations for the St. Thomas Police Division, said it was a win for the people in Seaforth after the parish's most wanted, Wayne Logan, otherwise called Looty, was shot and killed during an alleged confrontation with the police on Monday. The incident reportedly occurred in Morant Bay about 7 p.m. The police said that a Glock pistol with 2 magazines were recovered from Logan, who was pronounced dead at hospital. Thompson said that Logan, 26, who resided in Seaforth, was a high-ranking member of the feared Navarlian gang in the area and caused fear among residents. During his reign, the Seaforth area was under tension. The place was suffering. Seaforth basically became a ghost town because of his ruthless operations, Thompson said. It's a win, because over a year he reigned terror. He became St. Thomas's most wanted. We made several attempts to apprehend him, but he eluded us each time based on the terrain in Seaforth and the support of some persons he was in cohesion with, Thompson added. The senior crime fighter said that Logan was wanted for numerous crimes including murder and shooting. He also vowed that the St. Thomas Police will not relent in their drive to dismantle criminal gangs and the operations within the parish. In his case, he eluded us on so many occasions, but we kept up the operation and maintained full force in that space. So as a result, he left the area and was in Morant Bay, Thompson said. At JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.